darling, darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm doing another Top 5 Wednesday. As always, the Goodreads group is in the description below if you want to check that out. And this week's topic is books to get you out of a reading slump. So for this, I've kind of done 5 categories of books that just are good go-tos. You don't have to necessarily be these exact books, although these are the ones that when I'm really stuck, I'm gonna go to. So the first category I have is like a go-to favorite, like a book that you know you loved and enjoyed. It's kind of helpful sometimes to just know what's going to happen ahead of time too if you're like really in a slump, and just something that you really know you're going to love. And so for me, that is The Princess Bride by William Goldman, which is my favorite book. This book is also a good mix of lots of different genres. It's got romance and adventure and excitement, and like these fantasy elements. But it's also got this other side of it, which is much more this human story of a father wanting to share his favorite book with his son, and about being like a writer and what drives him to be a writer. So I love all the stuff that's happening in this book, which makes it a good go-to, because maybe I'm in the mood for sword fighting and this book has it, or I'm in the mood for a good romance story, or something really, really sarcastic. My second suggestion is to pick a children's book, especially if it's a children's book you know you love. It can be something that you've read recently and loved, or something from your childhood that maybe you haven't read in a while. But for me, that go-to is always going to be the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I know I'm going to love Harry's story, and every time I read these books, I notice something different, and it doesn't matter how many times I've read them. So that's good too. These characters are incredibly multi-dimensional, so yeah, the story of the boy wizard fighting the Dark Lord and his friends and the importance of friendship and bravery is always going to be a favorite for me. So my third category is light reading, and this can just encompass anything. For me, chick lit's a good light reading where it's just fun adventures, quirky stuff, a little bit of romance in it. But it could really be anything. For me, I picked A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall. I just finished this book, so that's why it's like the top of my brain here. But this one is just a romance story about these 2 college kids, Gabe and Leia, and it's told from the perspectives of other people around them. So there's a lot of people shipping these 2 together, and I totally love it and adore it. There's not a whole lot of like deep thought involved. It's just a fun story. So my fourth suggestion is to find a graphic novel, comic book, manga, read the comics in the newspaper. So you're still reading, but it's graphic and art, and like the text is spread out more. If you really have trouble with comic books, maybe read a picture book. For me, I just finished reading Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency comics. Specifically, I read A Spoon Too Short, but this volume also has The Interconnectedness of All Kings in it. These are by IDW. They follow Dirk Gently, who has this approach to investigating things where he believes that everything that happens in the world is interconnected. So if he starts off in one direction and comes across clues that don't seem like they're connected and part of a different case, they might actually be linked somehow. I love it. It's quirky. It's fun. And my fifth suggestion is to listen to an audiobook. It can be something that you've heard before. So if you have any of these other books like on audiobooks, that might be a good pick. Currently I'm listening to Changing Faces by Kimberla, Roby, Lawson, which follows 3 different women as they go through these changes in their lives, which is kind of a fun little thing. My go-to for audiobooks, though, is the How to Train Your Dragon series by Cressida Cowell, because they're narrated by David Tennant, and the combination of the writing, which is awesome, with David Tennant's doing all the different voices, it is perfect and spot on. So I love these also. So those are my top 5 suggestions if you're in a reading slump, how to get out of it. Sometimes when I'm in a reading slump, I also just need to put the books down, go watch movies, watch television, play video games or something. So if you're really stuck, That's happened to me a few times. Sometimes you just want to play The Sims for 3 days straight and don't want to read anything, and that's all right too. Hopefully this helps. Peace out. I love you guys and keep reading. Bye.